Hello, everybody, and welcome to Called Up the Prospects podcast. I'm Chris Peters of FloHockey, and that is not Cam Robinson. That is actually Lizz Child, also of FloHockey, sitting in as a guest host today. Cam is on assignment at Michigan State, enjoying all the time in East Lansing with the Spartans. Really excited for him to have that trip and that opportunity. What a great start they have had this season. Lizz, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. You're my partner in crime here at FloHockey. You've been here for a few years now. You're an expert in junior hockey, goalies, all sorts of things. Incredible knowledge base, so we're so glad to have you as a guest host today. But let's just start that off, and welcome to Called Up.
Thank you. I really quickly want to say I could be Cam Robinson. You never know. Like Cam could just be doing whatever he needs to do.
AI is doing crazy stuff these days.
It's a funky thing right now. So
Lizz is here today. We're going to talk about the World Junior Championship. We're going to talk about the news in the world of junior hockey. So World Juniors and the world of junior hockey, two different things. But obviously the landscape is such an important thing. And Lizz, we are in it all the time because of what we do here at FloHockey and everything else. But we're going to talk about that. Cam will be back next week, so Don't
worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry. He'll be back.
But Lizz, if you do well enough today, maybe we'll have to make this you're our go-to guest host. But I probably talk hockey with you more than I talk about hockey with literally anyone else, and therefore
I could probably say the same.
Yeah, this is
the other way.
This is a natural fit. So excited to do it. Obviously a lot of big things coming up on FloHockey as well. You can see in front of us, we have the 90th anniversary hat from the AHL. They're celebrating their 90th anniversary season this year. Obviously, FloHockey is the home of AHL TV, and boy, has it been a fun year so far. I mean, we've really seen a lot of great things in the AHL, a lot of great prospects. But you know what? That's not the only thing you can see on FloHockey. There's a lot. Hockey hits harder on Flo. Let's hear a message from us here at FloHockey.
Hockey hits harder on Flo. The AHL, the ECHL, the USHL, the O, the Q. So don't just watch hockey, live it. Get your annual Flo subscription now.
Oh boy, I love that ad. It does hit harder.
Yeah, that you see it and you're like, oh yeah, I'm hyped now.
Yeah, I'm hyped.
I'm ready to hit harder.
So we've got so definitely get that annual subscription right now, because it's been honestly, we've heard from so many people this year that absolutely love that annual subscription because they're going from game to game to game. They're following players as they get called up from the ECHL to the AHL. They're getting opportunities to see their favorite players a lot more. But Lizz, we got a lot to talk about today. We don't have a lot of time to do it. We are going to do a bit of a shorter episode today. Cam and I will be back next week with our regular, but we're going to do a little bit of a special here because one thing, we're into November now. And as November, World Juniors is coming up. So all the decision makers are going to the rinks. They're making the decisions. They're doing all the things that they have to do to make Team USA, Team Canada. I want to start with Canada because we have both been following the CHL a lot this year, but we've also been following the rookies in the NHL. There's a lot of uncertainty about the blue line, but I want to start in your wheelhouse because Lizz, if you guys have not seen it, Lizz has a series called Goalies Are, and she's interviewed goalies from across our leagues about the beauty of being a goalie and just all of the different things. So Lizz, you're excellent at this. Let's talk about goalies. If there is a position of strength for Team Canada against everyone else in the tournament, and there are several, but goaltending is absolutely where they're at.
They have plenty of options right now.
Yeah, talk to us about, I'd say the primary guys at this point are Carter George and Jack Ivankovic. Yeah. Carter at Owen Sound, Jack at the University of Michigan. What a great position for Canada to be in. And
I'm going to be honest with you. There are very, very, very few people that, if anybody, that can really challenge them for those positions. Right. I think Carter George has proven time and time again, he is the guy that should be counted on and that everyone can count on. Whether it's been in the OHL, whether it's been with Team Canada, I think he just shows up and he's like, I'm just here. And even when we talked to him at the tournament last year, he was just like, I just like watching other goalies too. So this is fun for me because I get to see everyone. And he's just outstanding. You can't say enough good things about watching him in net. And then you have Jack crushing it with Michigan right now. Yeah. University of Michigan's getting every ounce of what he was advertised as. Yes. And you can't fault them for wanting him there.
No, you can't. And you know what? I'd say those are two guys. Obviously, we saw him last year. Ivan Kovic, unfortunately, he was the goalie. He played outstanding in that game against Latvia that they did lose. But that's, is that your reminder of what you're doing at the World Junior level is like, that's the lasting memory. So he's going to be hungry to come back for that. But I think having a foundation in net is not something that Canada has typically had at these tournaments. Carter George has helped him turn the corner. But then you look at Jack Ivan Kovic, won the under-18s last year, won the Hlinka won the Hlinka Gretzky that same year. It's been, they might actually have a decision. I think, okay, let me ask the expert on this. You got a choice between these two goalies, and I know you like both of them.
I do.
Who's your go-to? Who is your number one for Canada?
If I have to pick right now, I'm still going Carter George.
Yeah.
I think he's had that moment for them plenty. And if I'm being completely honest, the loss against Latvia, I don't think would have changed my mind during the tournament last year. It would have been exactly the same. Like, that was just one of those, hey, it happened, just move on. But you can't get over what Carter George has offered and just repeatedly done. Not that Jack hasn't done that too. Like, Jack Ivan Kovic has been outstanding and continues to show, like, hey, I'm the guy that you can rely on. But I don't know. That's a tough one.
It is tough. And I think experience matters. I think with Carter, obviously the reps and the way that he's playing, I think you're going to probably look at the guys in terms of who is the best equipped in that moment. But I think what a great problem to have if you're Team Canada.
Well, and you're coming back from the few years ago where it was like always a third goalie coming in. It was like the guy who, they weren't counting on using at all. And then he comes in, like, what was it, Joel Hofer?
Yeah, Joel Hofer.
Coming in and being like, I'm going to come win the World Juniors for you. And everyone's like, you weren't even supposed to play. What just happened? So it's kind of nice that they have guys that are like, we know it's going to be you two.
Yeah.
So
I would say that, Canada is still, a team that is looking to be really formidable. It starts in net, but when you build from the net out, defense is probably the position where they're going to be shallowest. And we talked about it. Cam and I talked about it. Would Zane Parekh and Sam Dickinson be available? The way that Calgary is talking right now, they're saying that, hey, we want Zane Parekh in Calgary. He's not going back to junior. I don't think they've said with any definitive way that he's not going to go play at the World Juniors.
Yeah. And I think that's a different conversation in general.
It is a different conversation. And I think for him, it's going to be really interesting to watch, the decision process there. But also, if Canada doesn't have him, doesn't have Dickinson, doesn't have Schaefer, which they won't have Schaefer.
Not getting him.
We're going to talk about Schaefer again later too. But it is remarkable to me how quickly that thins out for them. We're starting to talk about guys like Owen Protz and others, like a guy that was in the camp and everything, but like now we're starting to get a little bit further down. Also, I think it really does put the onus on Hockey Canada to take a long look at Keaton Verhoff and say, he's an underager. He's 17 playing college hockey. He's already got 4 goals this season. He's a weapon from the back end. He has size. He's cartoonishly big for a child of 17.
But like, what can he do for you? Because that's the thing is like they might be looking at him like, hey, you're underage. You're small, not smaller. You're just younger. But like, look at everything he offers you.
Yeah.
Look at everything you don't have.
Yeah.
And look at everything he could. Whether or not he brings it, he's got that experience. And then you come back next year and he has that experience.
Yeah, I think you also have to build the foundation of your team for the following years. Even though I think everybody says it's a 19-year-olds tournament, you want to have experience. I still think there's such value in having it. You got to bring the best players.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that's going to be really interesting and complicating in this thing is that Canada's not going to have an evaluation camp. They're not making cuts in a camp. They're going to pick their team. So it does kind of create one fewer opportunity for these players to do things. So it'll be interesting to see. I think like you look at the backbone of that team, it's going to be the forwards. It's going to be Porter Martone. It's going to be Gavin McKenna. Those are going to be key players. But now you're like, well, we're probably not going to have Ben Kindle. We're probably not going to have, Berkeley Catton. So now you're starting to run out of guys to drive it. And so my question for you, as you look at Canada what they don't have versus what they will have, what is ultimately, like, can we still count on them as a favorite? We're going to have a question later in the show. Okay. So I don't want you to give it too much away yet. Okay. But is it, can we still say Canada is the favorite going into this tournament?
I think you just can't count them out. That's
Never.
The thing is, like,
Never.
like, I mean, regardless of, the last 2 years haven't been great for them.
Yeah.
And I think everyone can agree on that. Like, there's not really any argument there. And as much as you can say, oh, they don't have a ton left right now, it doesn't matter if they put it together when they need to. And I think they've shown in the past that, like, they can.
Yes. And
these guys want it. And I mean, even when you talk to Gavin McKenna, I believe at the summer showcase, and he said, like, we lost 2 in a row, like that. We're all hungry. We want it back. Like, they want to win this tournament. And I don't think it matters who they're taking. Every single guy on that roster is coming in with, like, a new passion and a new fire of just, like, we're winning. We're coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that is probably the biggest thing with Canada. You can never count them out, ever.
So to say, like, if they're the favorite or not, I'm not going to say they're not the favorite because they just have that ability. But at the same time, like, if you just look at it on paper, it's going to be rough to be like, yeah, Canada should win this one. Yeah,
and we're going to talk about the other team, and it's not the United States that I think is their biggest challenge. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. All right, let's move over to the U.S. real quick. I don't want to spend a ton of time on it because there's a lot of unknowns still. One of the biggest unknowns right now, goaltending. So you go from Canada where it's like we have an abundance of options, and USA has mostly goalies with sub 900 save percentages from their camp. Caleb Heil in the Madison Capitals, Nick Kempf at Notre Dame. They've been kind of up and down. They've had moments. They had a good, I think Heil had the best camp of all the goalies, and when we go back to summer camp, so there's a lot of there's options, but we're coming off of Trey Augustine back-to-back gold medals. He's not walking through that door. He's too old.
Yeah, would be nice. It would be nice, but. No, and I do think, like, Caleb Heil, because he's been around for a while. They've had their eye on him. He played for the NTDP. He's one of those guys where you still watch him now and you're just like, you could do it. I see it.
Yeah.
You're not right now, but, like,
yeah.
If you turn it on at the right time, it'll be just fine. And it's just one of those, but you look at kind of everyone who's coming up and it's like, could you?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are you currently giving me a reason to be like, oh, yeah, you're fine? Like, USA's got this on lock.
Yeah.
Not really. And it pains me to say because I never want to be like, oh, man, this goalie is not doing it. But being realistic, it's rough.
Yeah, it is rough. I mean, like, I think, for USA, it's not the only problem spot for them, goaltending. We've also looked at kind of their decor. Cole Hudson is obviously returning in a huge part of what they're going to do on the blue line. But really the depth is a huge concern at this point. And you're also seeing a lot of these players that are candidates for this team not performing at a high enough level. And looking at the blue line, there was also an incident this weekend that does cost them one of their players that I thought was going to be on the roster. And that's Tanner Henricks. And Tanner is going to be out for 3 months, according to St. Cloud State.
And you saw what happened with that, right? You saw how that happened?
Yeah, but why don't you tell everybody?
So they were playing Western Michigan.
Yeah.
And Ty Henricks, his brother, actually was the one who hit him and took him down.
Yeah.
And as much as you hate to see it, I'm also looking at it personally, and I think I sent you this after it happened. I was like, oh, that Thanksgiving dinner is going to be a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
Now.
So if you don't, his brother Ty is a New York Rangers prospect. Tanner is a Columbus Blue Jackets prospect. Tanner is a freshman at St. Cloud, or a freshman, and then Ty is, a national champion at Western Michigan. And
you think they're looking at that for the future, though, too? They're like, now, maybe in the NHL one day we're just going to turn that around. There's
going to be some payback at some point, I'd have to imagine. But that's unfortunate because Tanner Henricks was a guy that I think was going to, probably be a 4-5, maybe 4 Team USA in this tournament. Now he's not available, so that's going to happen too. I think another couple of things to kind of look out for: the forwards outside of Max Plant, who is leading the NCAA in scoring. He's had a sensational year, but a lot of the forwards for Team USA, many of them will come from college hockey. not a lot of production. Even like James Higgins, I don't think he's produced to a level that I expected. As a sophomore, I thought there was going to be more from him.
I will say in his defense a little bit, he did lose both Ryan Leonard and Gabe Perreault. So that does take away a little bit automatically just because of how much they worked so well together. But it's at the same time, it's like you still expect it.
And I was kind of hoping like to see him kind of pop out a little bit more as a driver. And he is. He's still a driver for them. But like it's just, yeah, you're right. Maybe the points aren't coming because the line mates have changed. But boy, it's been a wild year in college hockey. Like unpredictable as anything we've ever seen.
To watch, though.
Unpredictable. Yeah, it has. It's been a blast to watch. But now you're saying if you're Team USA and you're the decision makers for this team, there's a lot of unknowns. There's other things that you have no control over. Trevor Connolly hasn't played since the World Junior Summer Showcase. That's a returning player that you might not have due to injury. There is also, Cole Eiserman has been banged up. He's going to be fine. There's no worries about that. But still, you're kind of like biding your time. This is the time of year where you start getting worried about all of the injuries and other things that could come up. But the World Juniors, it's going to be crazy.
Which it feels kind of weird to say, like in November, we're, a month and a half away from the start of the event. But it's like in hockey right now, that's how it is. Like you're a month and a half away.
Yeah.
You're looking at that roster
it's time to figure things out. So there's a lot of questions left to be answered here, and we're not going to answer them today because we don't have enough time to. But there's a lot. But we will be talking a lot of World Junior Championship on FloHockey and on Called Up the Prospects podcast. Cam and I are going to be probably doing a lot of lead up content because I think it's a fascinating year. So we'll get more to that. All right, Liz. It's been a newsy week in junior hockey. And the reason it's been a newsy week in junior hockey is because the NHL had a meeting with the USHL, the CHL, all the commissioners. And I think the reason that this meeting is so important is that everyone knows the landscape has been altered forever. Like there is, and no one really has figured out yet how they're going to deal with it. And I think that that's a thing that, is going to take time to figure out. So what came out of it, Bill Daly kind of made some comments about, he doesn't think that there's really much concern about the CHL. He said he's a little bit more concerned about the USHL. Obviously, in full disclosure, league partners, USHL, OHL, QMJHL, want to make sure that's clear as we talk about this. We obviously, like for me, as I've said, look out. For me, as I've said, I think there is a way for everyone to win in this environment. But they're going to have to start playing nice. And that's not going to happen. I think there's things like, ego and other things get into it.
Yeah.
From your perspective, as we've kind of looked at this, do we even know what the path forward is right now? Like, do we know, like, and I know I have my own theory. I'll ask you, how long do you think it's going to take for us to figure out ultimately what the full impact of this whole thing is?
I mean, there are paths forward. Like, absolutely. And as you said, it's going to involve a lot of, playing nice and kind of figuring things out together as like an entirety of junior hockey, college hockey, pro hockey. It's just going to involve everybody at this point. But I'm going to say we're a couple of seasons away from it being like a fully like thought out thing right now. But it's closer than we think where it's going to be people starting to work together.
Yeah.
And I think that we're seeing it now just with guys moving right now.
Yeah, the player movement has been, I think, more chaotic than even we anticipated. We knew it would be significant, but I think, you can just look at Team CHL for the CHL USA Prospects Challenge. They have a player that left the NTDP early. They have like 3 other players that left the USHL for the CHL. And you also wondered, like, how would those players be accepted? And like you look at Nikita Klepov, he's been one of the top players in the OHL this season. You look at, other players that are, like Harrison Bottiger, who played for the, for the national team program. And boy, he might, at this point, is he an option for the World Junior? Playing for Kelowna right now, so yeah, so it's a lot, there's a lot there, but I would say, for me, it's going to take 3 years, I feel like, for there to be some sort of course correction. We'll see next year. There's 2 big prospects that could potentially choose to go play college hockey. One is Alexi Joseph for the St. John Sea Dogs. I don't know that that's necessarily the path he wants to take, so I'm not saying that he's going there. I don't want to make
option,
that.
Though.
It's an option.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that it's an option. I do not have any insight into what his plans are.
You're not breaking news right now?
Yeah, no. And then Landon, somebody's going to radio me. Landon DuPont is the other one. Very intrigued to see exactly where he's going to end up. Like, what is he going to do? How is he going to feel? Yeah. How is he going to, is he going to stick with the WHL? But all these players have options now, and the only way to kind of let them pick you is to compete.
Yeah.
So now you have to compete. So what does that mean? That means facilities upgrades. That means, scheduling things, coaching, all these different things. You have to continue to invest. And to me, that's the benefit to the players.
Yeah. Because it's going to force everyone across the board to step their game up and give these players more in return for, hey, I'm going to come play with you. I'm going to stick around and be on your team.
Yeah. And I think there's so much to like about where we're, like the opportunities that are being provided to players at this point. Like the fact that there are things that they're going to be able to benefit from with this new landscape. So there's still so much, and we'll have many, many more thoughts on this for sure, because
like you said, if we have a few years, there's going to be thoughts.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I would like to see an option where everyone wins. Like, I would like to see an option where all these leagues are thriving, the players are thriving, the NHL as a result is thriving. And the reason you see comments in public from the deputy commissioner, it just goes to show you how important and how much the NHL is paying attention to junior hockey right now. It is their lifeblood. It is their feeder system, and a good, healthy junior landscape on both sides of the border only benefits the NHL. It also benefits the game as a whole.
Oh, yeah, because then you have more access from so many more players. You have so many guys who maybe weren't getting a look at before, but could have been something had they been on a team that had, a little bit more to offer. You start getting some players that maybe you weren't looking at before, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
there's more players to choose from now.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. So I think there's that too, and one other thing that I think is important for people to know about why the NHL cares about it. It's not just about the players. That's a really important factor. Obviously, the future stars of the game are a very important factor. Junior hockey, minor pro hockey, anywhere the NHL is not. Small markets, small towns, they are the people, and these teams do a good job of keeping hockey alive and well in small markets. And that is a huge reason why everyone should be invested in the health of junior hockey across both the U.S. and Canada.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, with that being said, there are going to be winners and losers for this. There are going to be winners and losers. We're not going to pick them today. I think it's, like I said, I think it's going to take three years to find out. But I do think that as long as players are centered in the debate, then that is that is where we're. That's all we can ask for. All right. Next up, want to talk a little bit about a segment, because we do segments here.
Right.
We like to do it. We
go.
do Beyond Belief. We do. So we are going to do it with you.
Okay.
So I'm putting you on the spot because that's how we roll here at Called Up the Prospects podcast. I'm usually the one on the spot, and I'm usually the one being made to look.
It's okay. See, now everyone gets to see me panic, and they're going to be like, oh, Chris is fine.
Okay.
Chris is.
So I mentioned Matthew Schaefer earlier, who we do not think will be playing for Team Canada at the World Junior Championship.
He is. There's probably another issue going on.
Yeah. Something went horribly wrong in November if he's there. All right. So as of right now, Matthew Schaefer is on pace for 70 points. The record for a U19 defenseman was Phil Housley, 66 points as a rookie defenseman. Matthew Schaefer will surpass Phil Housley's record of 66 points by a U19 defenseman. Is that beyond belief or believable?
See, I have a very quick answer here that is completely believable.
Oh,
on my end.
All right. Okay.
Might be recency bias. It might just be like, I'm on the younger side. Matthew Schaefer's, kind of more my brand of hockey, I guess, or my era of hockey, I guess. Not quite. I'm not that young, guys. But he's kind of more on that side. And watching him play and watching him do everything he's already done in the league, I think that's completely believable. And I think that if I said anything else, also, I might have the entirety of Long Island on my back and coming for me.
You're right. So let me do that for you. I will say it's beyond belief, but only because he is on pace for 70 points right now. Every player that comes into the league, there is a time where it slows. There is a time where you hit a cliff. I think it'll happen for him. Okay. Oh, and the other factor is, let's keep in mind, he only played 17 games last season. We're asking him to play an 82-game season. We're asking him to play 23 minutes a night. I think that's where it gets challenging. However, if anybody's going to do it, I don't know that we've ever been closer to it. That's the thing. I
think he's going to hit a stride. I think maybe the
he's
opposite.
He's going to get better.
I think he might hit a lull for a week or two. It feels like a really short lull. But I think as the season goes on, we're going to see him get better. He's going to get even more comfortable somehow. And he's just going to be firing him off. We're going to see him racking up the points. I might be a little biased. We'll see. But dare I say he ends with a 75-point season.
Whoa. See, now and that's the thing. If that happens, we're talking about a legit generational player.
I don't know.
I mean, that's
you also have to think of how many things he came back from just this year.
100%.
And the more he skates and the more he gets back into fully more of his groove somehow, that I don't think he quite ever lost. Which I'm if I was off the ice for that long, I think I'd just be I'm done.
Yeah, I know. But what a story of perseverance for one. What a story of, just the attitude that he has, both in terms of his positivity, but then the attitude that he has that he wants to be the best and that he will continue to push. And he's probably the least surprised of anybody that this is happening right now. The confidence that young man has.
I also just don't think he's thinking about it.
He probably isn't.
I don't think he's thinking about it at all.
He's probably so happy to play.
He probably every time someone brings up points to him, he's like, "What? I got another one? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm so used to getting them at this point that oh, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm giving him a little too much credit there.
All right. Okay.
Let's see.
All right. I know you had a beyond belief for me as well.
I do.
All right, I'm ready for it.
And it is on the U.S. side of things.
Okay.
But my beyond belief is Tynan Lawrence will be drafted in the top 3 of the 2026 NHL Draft.
Okay.
Beyond belief?
So here's the thing. I think it's believable that he's drafted in the top 3. Tynan Lawrence playing for the Muskegon Lumberjacks. He's missed quite a bit of time due to injury this year. Unfortunate. But we've talked about it on this podcast before. Center is the scarce position in this draft. He is the best center. There are a lot of people that have belief that he is going to be a top-end guy in the NHL, potentially a number 1 center. Is he in that kind of Celebrini-ish? No. But is he... Because, basically we're seeing Macklin now. We're saying, okay, well, maybe he is...
He's come into himself.
When Jay Pandolfo was calling him Diet Crosby, I was like, all right, well, Crosby light.
He's coming
maybe
to
that's
himself
a bit much.
too.
Yeah, so it's just kind of these guys are finding their way. I think it's so interesting that you said that about Schaefer too. Is maybe he's just going to level up. Maybe we haven't seen the top. I think for Tynan Lawrence, it's just about getting healthy, getting consistent playing time. Can he lead Muskegon to another championship as he did last year at 16 years old? It's totally believable for me. You guys spent time with him in the preseason. Liz was there for so you got a chance to kind of get into his mindset. Mm-hmm. And, this is a young man that's very mature, very prepared, and we'll have a piece about him coming out later. But instead of having you go beyond belief, I want to ask you, what was your impression of Tynan Lawrence, how he is approaching this season, what he is capable of based on the little bit you got to know of him?
I'll be honest, he wasn't skating when we were around him. He got back on the ice, a couple weeks after we left, but just from talking to him and seeing him, at morning skates and at practices, he wanted to be out there. I don't think I've seen someone more hey, I want to do this. It's killing me not to be part of this and not to be able to contribute right now.
Yep.
As much as it was you're going to be out there, you're going to be fine. It's just one of those, he wanted it. there were times, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, where it just felt maybe like he was a little off of it, because it was like, I'm not out there, so like I can't sit here and watch everyone else doing what I want to be doing right now. So it was a little bit like, yeah, I'm going to kind of pull back a little bit and be off to the side and like do my own thing. But the mindset he has, especially when you talk to him, is I want to be out there, I want to win, I want to be the best, and I want to prove that I am the best.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, like, he has some real it factor to him. Like, he really does. Like, he's confident off the puck. He's confident with the puck. He plays with pace. He's hard to contain. So that's the thing, is like, as we've looked at this draft class, and as we've seen, Gavin McKenna maybe underwhelmed a little bit. Keaton Verhoff has been fine, but like, is this whole premium position thing is still there. I think like guys like Ethan Belchetz have elevated. Others have not. Stenberg has elevated. But I also think that once Tynan Lawrence is healthy, we just don't have enough of a book on him right now. But
I mean, also in his first game back, he looked good.
Exactly.
It didn't look like he missed time. It just looked like, he's going to get back up to speed. And I think that's another one that, like, as the season goes on, we're just kind of going to see him get better and better.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm excited to watch it. And so we're expecting him back on the ice soon and doing his thing. So, all right, let's go back to the World Juniors and let's wrap this up with our you have to pick one.
Okay.
All right. So I said earlier, I don't think USA is a favorite. I mean, I think that even there's a chance that medal hopes are lofty at this point.
We'll see.
Lofty. We'll say it that way. I don't want to say out of reach. I'll just say lofty.
Okay. It is at home for them, so they might get a little bit of a bump, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I'm going to give you one.
Okay.
Sweden or Canada. Who is the favorite? You have to pick one.
I have to pick one. It's going to make the Canadians mad. But Sweden, coming so close repeatedly, like, it's a different level. I know Canada wants it. I know that all of their players are like, listen, we can't keep losing like this. But I think Sweden is on a different level of, if we don't freaking win soon, like, as a country, we're just going to start, like...
Yeah. I think the window for Sweden, that's the thing, is like, now we have to.
Yeah.
We've got Frundell. We've got Stenberg. We've got Bjork. We've got Eklund. We've got, I think their decor is good too.
It'd be really fun to watch that too.
Yeah, it would be
fun.
Being
honest. Like, it'd be really fun to watch.
Think about the whole situation. USA wins gold on Sweden's ice. Sweden can return the favor a few years later. And most of those players weren't on this team, but they all watched it.
We'll see.
And that's the other thing too. Like, the USA-Sweden rivalry is so underrated right now.
Well, especially because every time you talk to them, that's all they're talking about.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, you want to talk about it, and I know I might have brought it up a little bit earlier, but my dark horse in this is actually Finland.
Ooh, okay.
I think
Mr. Showtime.
Mr. Showtime, Petteri Rimponen. I also think last year he went, no one's scoring on me ever again. So we'll see. That might be a little bit bold of a statement right now, but I think in his mindset, he's like, we're winning this.
Yeah, but is Teddy Stiga his kryptonite? That's the question. Teddy Stiga will be back, but that's another player that has not necessarily produced at a high level.
We need them to play, though. Like, we need to see them against each other.
Yeah, so we will. And we will. Well, yeah, we may not. That's true. We don't have a guarantee. We will see USA versus Sweden on New Year's Eve.
I think that will be a fantastic game.
I can't wait. My family's coming to that. Like, I got my wife and kids are coming.
Even better. Better.
So like, I'm really excited. I mean, obviously, with the World Juniors in the U.S., you're going to see a lot of our content presence there. Liz, we've been going the last couple of years. We're always it's one of our favorite things to do. The World Juniors is right around the corner, December 26th in Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota. Canada will be in Minneapolis at 3M Arena. USA will be at Grand Casino, whatever it's called. The XL Energy Center is it Grand Casino Arena? I don't know. We're going to the casino. All I know is that we're going to the casino. We're not going to the X. And they just got a bunch of great name recognition there.
Yeah.
So but anyway, so Liz, before we get out of here, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to put you on the spot. So Liz has been with us for the last 2.5 years, essentially, almost 3.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. See, I think she's been here for forever.
It feels like I've been here forever.
Yeah, it feels like you've been here forever. which is a good thing. But, you know, you were somebody that, like, one of the things I always find fascinating is how people come to hockey, how they get involved. And, you know, for somebody with the knowledge base that you have, and this is for our, you know, for the listeners, from somebody that has the knowledge base that you have, you came to hockey a little bit later in life. You didn't grow up a hockey fan, but you found it. Tell me how you found it.
I will also clarify. I actually grew up a hockey hater.
Really?
As a kid, mostly because I didn't know what it was, because I grew up in the Central Valley of California, and so like hockey, I knew what figure skating was, and I was like, man, skating on ice sounds sick, and I like would beg my parents to go skate, but like hockey, I don't understand. And then in high school, the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals, because I grew up in California, everyone was talking, oh, the San Jose Sharks, and I was like, this might sound bad. I'm going to be a San Jose Sharks hater and go for the Vancouver Canucks because all of you guys are making me mad right now.
Oh, man.
And ended up being like, cool, well, I guess I'm a Canucks fan. Wasn't really.
Yeah.
And then started kind of pointing out players in the NHL that I was like, oh, I like watching this guy play, like from random teams. And at some point, someone in my life was like, hey, you know those are all Portland Winterhawks, right? And I went, what are you talking about? I've never heard of that. And then it just turned into, okay, well, I guess I'm actually a Portland Winterhawks fan in the WHL, which turned into I'm a WHL fan, which turned into I'm a junior hockey fan, which turned into I lived in Vegas during the expansion of the Golden Knights. And cool, now I'm a Golden Knights fan, which, again, sorry, San Jose. Like, apparently it's just been destined to everything in my life work against you. But, yeah, and it just turned into I dug in ridiculously.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing is, like, it's like one thing and then the next thing and then the next thing. Like, I grew up with hockey. My dad was into hockey and got me on skates at a young age. And you know, and I really fell in love with the game. But there's a lot of people, many people, I'd say probably the majority of hockey fans that did not grow up with it and came to it later. And that's why when I talk about junior hockey being such an important factor, is that is a touch point to the sport.
It's
for
such
people.
an easy way to get into it too, because one, like, there's so many teams, and going to games so much less expensive than an NHL game. It's insane. But also, like, the environment and the vibes that you get at those games, it's so.
And I think the access to the players too. Like, if you go to junior hockey games, if you go to minor pro games, there's going to be more opportunities to do autograph signings and meet and greets, and their players are out in the community.
And those guys have so much more personality at that level. Like, they're just
the game hasn't beaten them down at this point.
They're just still vibing, and like, I've been talking to so many of the guys, and it's so funny right now because a lot of them bring up like, yeah, it's just a game we played when we were kids, and I'm like, oh, well, to me, like, you still are a kid, but I get it. And at that level, that's all it is. It's still just a game that they played when they were a kid. Whereas, like, when you get to the pros, it's like, I got to take it a little more seriously now.
Yeah.
Like, I have a contract to try and keep up.
Yeah. It's incredible. I mean, like, honestly, yeah, the way that we follow the game, and obviously, like, you know, I've covered the NHL. I loved doing that. There's just something about junior hockey, the AHL, the ECHL, just finding the stories and the players and the different things. Like, it's such an important part of the hockey landscape. And that's why I feel really lucky that we both get to do this here at FloHockey.
Every day.
It's pretty awesome. So, yeah. So, well, obviously, you know, this is not my basement. So you guys are now seeing that this is, I didn't ever mention that, yes, we are also in the studio, the Flow Sports Studios. I want to give a huge, huge thank you to Greg Sandercox for producing today and for, you know, helping set this up. We obviously, you know, hate to miss a show with Cam, but Liz, thank you for filling in. Great job pinch hitting.
Coming for Cam's job. It's fine.
Yeah. Don't tell him that. or you are AI Cam Robinson. We're still not sure yet.
You never know.
Yeah. But, you know, we've got a lot of things coming up on FloHockey. There's so much to get to. You guys definitely go ahead, subscribe to that annual subscription. Get that annual subscription now. We've got more leagues, more games, more
all the
teams.
Junior hockey you could possibly want.
Yeah, it's like if you are a fan of prospects and you're not subscribed to FloHockey,
what do you do?
Are you a fan of prospects? That's a challenge to all of you out there, and a sales pitch. That's the hard sell right there.
Right there, yeah.
That's a challenge. I'm challenging you.
It's the real called up challenge.
Yeah. But that is going to do it for this week's episode of Called Up the Prospects podcast. For Lizz Child, for my co-host Cam Robinson, absent today, I'm Chris Peters. We'll see you guys next time.